Hi, I'm Zi Yin with background in Freelancer Illustrator in Studio01.
This project is a 2D portrait short animation about death.
My inquiry is how to use animation to visualize the textual depiction through abstract visual representations combined with the rhythm of sound and timing of emotion. My practice direction is to explore how to use composition, animation pacing, and graphic contrast to drive the viewer's emotion. In normal animation, there is a fixed storyline and characterization. However, in poetry animation, in order to increase the level of immersion, most of the authors will use abstract metaphors without a proper plot to describe the required feeling. The reason of reality and illusion is the difficulty to be faced in making this kind of animation. In Wan Yinchen's Abstract Soup and Mamado's Funeral at Night, different people's understanding of the same thing is depicted through the perspectives of multiple characters. Constructing a picture from different perspectives also makes abstract concept more visualized and easier to understand. Many authors or books in which death is frequently occurrence will also forgo depicting detailed gesture of characters confronting death, and instead using contrasts or metaphors to set the themes. For example, in the book My Bones Speak, the corner's analogy of the shadow of death as a green veil is ethereal and extremely light, but looms over the land where the dead appear, leaving everyone gradually breathless. Similar in the book Smoke Get Into Your Eyes, the author speaks of no matter how complex a person was in lifetime, he or she become grey and silent in the end. Death is like the locked book, the content of which can only be guessed through the cover. Using metaphors, abstraction, and hiding the collected stories within, letting the audience guess and fantasies, letting them feel with their own experience is the better solution. In making of this animation, I first interviewed more than 10 friends and collected their stories. After that, I extracted feelings from these interviews and used metaphors to draw them. In the selection of scenes, I try to use those common things in daily life as much as possible as a contrast to set off the shortness of life and the difficulty of having good things. For example, the clock is the metaphor for the passing of life. The fireworks are the metaphors for the shortness of time, and so on. At first, I drew as much information as possible, and then gradually cut down and iterated. The repetitive elements were converted into white space and sound effect to transition the scenes and give the audience enough blank space to think. To make the mood of poem more apparent, I choose to use a pure black and white style. The narrative is told through transitions of black and white area, inverse colors, and contrasts. In the production of sound effect, I also add a lot of echo sound effects. It not only serves as a sense transition, but also expresses the feeling of loneliness and silence in the narrative. Now this showcase version is the latest one and it is finished. There is another version which the voiceover is made by myself, but it won't be shown here because my voice is too weird to me. I will try to bring this project to join some competitions if I can. By making this animation, I gained a lot experience about the process of making a full animation and gained a new understanding of animation pacing and graphic narratives. And it gave me a lot of confidence for my future Studio 3 animation. Now it's feel free to watch my animation. Thank you for watching.
We all lost one important thing, one day or another. Sometimes as long as a wound that won't heal. Sometimes it's as quick as a breath, in the blink of an eye. In that moment, we are stripped away from the real world. We can't hear the noise and the clamor around us. Just feeling the silence that comes with death, like sinking to the bottom of a lake. We pretend not to hear the cries of pain in our hearts, and let the noise outside fill our ears. we bet with time. We dreamed the sight. Until the shadow of death disappears with all that matters, and we realized that our past has gone with it, leaving behind a scarred shell, waiting for flesh and blood and emotion. Grow back in time.